Imagine waking up each day with a self-esteem so unshakable that no external approval, criticism, or social comparison can penetrate it. This isn't some distant fantasy. It's a practical, attainable state rooted deeply in the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. In this journey, you'll discover that true confidence doesn't come from applause or validation from the outside world, but from the silent, powerful dialogue you hold with yourself. Inspired by the teachings of Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, we unravel how your inner voice shapes your reality, and how embracing even the smallest personal victories quietly transforms your sense of worth. The video dives into the essential shift of perception, taking full ownership of your emotions and actions, not as victims to life's uncontrollable tides, but as conscious architects of your inner world. Rather than pushing away emotions as foes, Stoicism teaches us to listen, accept them as messengers pointing to areas demanding growth and clarity. This process is not instantaneous. It unfolds through consistent daily practice, gentle self-reflection, and a commitment to nurture self-respect through kind, honest inner conversation. But the transformation doesn't stop there. You'll learn why surrounding yourself with people who elevate you is just as vital as the mental work you do alone. We expose how destructive self-criticism and crave for external validation erode your foundation, and how focusing instead on what lies within your control can liberate you to a place of genuine peace and joy. By the end, you'll be invited not just to absorb these lessons, but to embody them, to start a purposeful path of self-discovery and resilience that builds not just fleeting confidence, but an unbreakable self-esteem. This is more than philosophy. It's a call to revolutionize the way you relate to yourself and the world, transforming your life from the inside out with wisdom that has stood the test of centuries. If what we've discussed so far resonates with you, if it's sparking a flicker of recognition or understanding within, please take a moment to like this video. And if you know someone who might benefit from this perspective, someone navigating their own journey toward inner strength, consider sharing it with them. Your support helps us reach more minds seeking clarity in a noisy world. We've explored the profound truth that genuine confidence isn't a trophy handed to us by the world, but a deep-seated conviction cultivated through a quiet yet powerful dialogue with ourselves. We've touched upon the necessity of owning our emotional landscape, not as passive observers, but as active architects of our inner experience, listening to our emotions as messengers rather than battling them as foes. This daily practice of gentle self-reflection and honest inner conversation is indeed the bedrock. But the transformation, the revolution of self, doesn't stop at the boundaries of your own mind. It extends into the very fabric of your daily life, profoundly influenced by the company you keep. The invisible architects, curating your social landscape for inner strength. Think for a moment about the people who populate your world. Who are the voices, besides your own, that echo in your thoughts? Stoicism, while intensely focused on the individual's inner work, never isolated the individual from their community. In fact, it often emphasized our interconnectedness, our role as citizens of the world. But it also offered a profound warning. Just as your mind needs careful curation, so too does your social environment. Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, urged us to be selective, advising, associate with those who will improve you, welcome those whom you yourself can improve. The process is a mutual one. Men learn as they teach. This isn't about building an echo chamber of agreement, nor is it about abandoning friends at the first sign of difficulty. It's a call to conscious awareness. Consider the friend who consistently belittles your aspirations, even subtly, with a sarcastic remark or a dismissive tone. Or the colleague who thrives on gossip and negativity, pulling you into a vortex of cynicism. Perhaps it's a family member whose constant stream of criticism, though perhaps well-intentioned, chips away at your sense of self-worth. These aren't just minor annoyances. They are energetic drains that subtly yet powerfully erode the very foundation of self-esteem you're diligently trying to build. Imagine your inner self, your nascent, unshakable confidence, as a delicate flame. Some people, through their genuine encouragement, their shared values, their pursuit of growth, act like a gentle breeze, fanning that flame, helping it burn brighter and steadier. Others, through their judgments, their negativity, their lack of genuine interest in your flourishing, can feel like a cold, damp cloth, threatening to extinguish it altogether. How do we practically apply this ancient wisdom in our hyper-connected modern world, where social circles often feel less like conscious choices and more like inescapable realities? First, cultivate an awareness of how different interactions feel. After spending time with certain individuals, do you feel energized, inspired, and affirmed, or do you feel depleted, anxious, or questioning your own judgment? This isn't about blaming others, but about recognizing the impact their presence has on your inner state, the state you are striving to protect and strengthen. Second, practice the Stoic art of discernment, particularly with your attention. You might not be able to completely sever ties with every person who doesn't elevate you, especially in professional or familial contexts, but you can control the degree to which you engage. You can choose to gracefully disengage from gossip, to redirect conversations towards more constructive topics, or to limit the frequency and duration of interactions that consistently leave you feeling diminished. This isn't coldness, it's self-preservation, a recognition that your time and mental energy are finite and precious resources, best invested in alignment with your pursuit of virtue and inner peace. Third, actively seek out connections that nourish you. Join groups aligned with your interests. Engage in thoughtful discussions. Seek mentors or peers who inspire you to grow. These aren't just networking opportunities. They are opportunities to reinforce your values, to test your ideas, and to see your own aspirations mirrored and supported by others who are also striving for something more meaningful. This conscious cultivation of a supportive external environment is not just a nice-to-have. It's a vital component of building an unbreakable self-esteem, acting as a crucial complement to your internal work, dismantling destructive self-criticism, silencing the inner tyrant. Now, while the external world undeniably influences us, the most insidious threats to our self-esteem often originate within. We're talking about that persistent, nagging voice of destructive self-criticism. It's the voice that tells you you're not good enough, that you're a fraud, that you'll inevitably fail. It's the voice that magnifies every mistake, minimizes every success, and compares you unfavorably to everyone else. This isn't a wise, guiding inner dialogue. It's an inner tyrant, and it can erode your foundation faster than any external challenge. Where does this inner tyrant come from? Often it's a remnant of past experiences, a harsh parent, a critical teacher, or societal pressures internalized over years. It becomes a default mental program running in the background, subtly sabotaging your efforts to build genuine self-worth. It's the architect of imposter syndrome, the fuel for perfectionism, and the silent assassin of peace. Stoicism offers a powerful antidote to this self-inflicted torment: radical honesty and the application of reason. The Stoics understood that our suffering often stems not from events themselves, but from our judgments about those events. And this applies equally to our judgments about ourselves. When the inner critic rears its head, instead of passively accepting its pronouncements, the Stoic asks, "Is this true? Is this helpful? Is this within my control?" Consider a modern scenario. You receive an email from your boss, pointing out a minor error in a report. Immediately your inner critic might pounce. "You're incompetent. You always mess things up. This proves you're not cut out for this job." A non-Stoic might spiral into anxiety and self-loathing. A Stoic, however, would engage in a mental dialogue. Is this true? Did I make an error? Yes, I did. Is it catastrophic? No, it's minor and fixable. Does one error define my entire competence? Absolutely not. I've handled countless reports successfully. Is this helpful? Dwelling on how terrible I am isn't helping me fix the error or learn from it. It's just causing distress. Is this within my control? The fact that I made an error is in the past, but my response to it, correcting it, learning from it, and moving forward is entirely within my control. By applying reason, you begin to dismantle the irrationality of the inner critic. You realize that its pronouncements are often exaggerated, illogical, and unhelpful. You're not trying to suppress the thought. You're examining it, questioning its validity, and refusing to give it power. Another technique is to practice self-compassion, not as a fluffy indulgence, but as a practical Stoic virtue. Imagine a close friend came to you, distressed about making a similar mistake. Would you berate them, tell them they're a failure, and pile on the negativity? Of course not. You'd offer understanding, encouragement, and practical advice. Why then do we so often deny ourselves that same kindness? Treating yourself with the same empathy and understanding you would offer a trusted friend is not a sign of weakness. It's a profound act of self-respect and a testament to your own inner strength. It's recognizing your shared humanity, your inherent fallibility, and choosing growth over self-flagellation. This compassionate yet rational approach begins to starve the inner tyrant of its power, replacing its harsh decrees with the calm, reasoned voice of self-acceptance and continuous improvement. Breaking free from external validation, the chains of opinion, hand in hand with destructive self-criticism, is its insidious sibling, the craving for external validation. In our modern world, this craving has reached epidemic proportions. Social media platforms, with their endless metrics of likes, shares, and followers, have created an insatiable hunger for external approval. Our careers often demand that we constantly prove our worth to bosses, clients, and colleagues. Even our personal lives can feel like a constant performance, seeking approval from partners, friends, and family. The Stoics recognized this trap millennia ago. Epictetus famously taught us to distinguish between what is up to us and what is not up to us. Our own opinions, impulses, desires, and aversions, these are up to us. But our bodies, possessions, reputations, and positions of command, these are not up to us. The opinions of others, their applause or criticism, their validation or rejection, these fall squarely into the category of not up to us. When our self-worth is tethered to something outside of our control, we become psychological slaves. We become buffeted by the whims of others, anxious about their perceptions, and constantly striving to meet external standards that are ever-shifting and ultimately unattainable. The moment your sense of good enough depends on someone else's affirmation, you've handed them the reins to your inner peace. Think of the influencer who meticulously crafts every post, agonizing over filters and captions, only to feel a surge of fleeting satisfaction with a flood of likes, followed quickly by anxiety when the engagement slows. Or the employee who works late nights, driven not by a love for their work, but by a desperate need for their manager's praise, only to feel empty when that praise doesn't materialize. This constant chase for external validation creates a vicious cycle of temporary highs and crushing lows, leaving us perpetually unfulfilled and disconnected from our authentic selves. The Stoic liberation comes from a radical reorientation of value. If external opinions and accolades are indifferent, meaning they are neither good nor bad in themselves, and certainly not the source of our genuine happiness or worth, then why invest our precious mental energy in pursuing them? Instead, Stoicism urges us to focus on what is truly within our control: our character, our intentions, our efforts, and our virtuous actions. When you base your self-esteem on your commitment to honesty, your dedication to your responsibilities, your courage in facing challenges, and your kindness towards others, these are internal metrics. They are yours and yours alone. No one can take them away from you. No negative comment can diminish them. No lack of applause can invalidate them. Cultivating an indifference to externals doesn't mean becoming a cold, uncaring hermit. It means developing a healthy detachment, a recognition that while it might be pleasant to receive praise, your worth doesn't depend on it. While it might sting to receive criticism, your core value remains untouched. You continue to act with integrity, to strive for excellence, and to contribute to the world, not because of the applause you hope to receive, but because these actions align with your chosen principles and contribute to your own inner sense of purpose and virtue. This profound shift from external seeking to internal validation is not merely a philosophical concept. It's a blueprint for psychological freedom, allowing you to walk your own path with an unshakable sense of self-respect, regardless of the world's fluctuating opinions. The heart of Stoicism, mastering the dichotomy of control. At the very core of this liberation, this ability to dismantle self-criticism and release the grip of external validation, lies the fundamental Stoic principle known as the dichotomy of control. This concept, most famously articulated by Epictetus, is not just an idea. It's a practical operating manual for a life of tranquility and purpose. It is, perhaps, the single most powerful tool for building that unshakable self-esteem we're discussing. Epictetus famously begins his Enchiridion handbook with this clear distinction: some things are up to us and some things are not up to us. Up to us are our opinions, impulses, desires, aversions. In short, whatever is our own doing. Not up to us are our body, our possessions, our reputation, our commands. In short, whatever is not our own doing. Let's unpack this. What is up to us? Our judgments and opinions. How we choose to perceive events. Do we see a traffic jam as a catastrophe or an opportunity for quiet reflection? Do we interpret the colleague's blunt comment as an insult or as their direct communication style? Our intentions and desires, what we genuinely wish to achieve, the purpose behind our actions and reactions, the choices we make, how we respond to situations, the effort we put in. Our character and virtues, whether we choose to be honest, courageous, temperate, just. What is not up to us? Other people's actions and opinions, traffic, our physical body, illness, aging, and physical limitations. Even if we put in maximum effort, the final result is often influenced by factors beyond our control. The immense power of this distinction lies in where we choose to place our focus and energy. When we mistakenly invest our emotional energy in things that are not up to us, we invite frustration, anxiety, and distress. We're essentially trying to control the uncontrollable, like trying to calm the ocean by shouting at it. This is where most people spend their lives, constantly agitated by things they have no real power over. The state of politics, the weather, their boss's mood, how many likes their social media post receives. Imagine you're preparing for a major presentation at work. You can control your preparation, researching thoroughly, practicing your delivery, your mindset, approaching it with confidence and a desire to communicate effectively. Your effort, dedicating the necessary time and energy. What you cannot control. How your audience will react. Will they be engaged, bored, critical? Technical glitches. The projector might malfunction. The outcome. Will you get the promotion you're hoping for? A person whose self-esteem is rooted in external validation might feel shattered if the projector fails, or if a colleague asks a challenging question. Their inner critic might scream, "You failed, you're incompetent." But the Stoic, having internalized the dichotomy of control, would recognize the projector malfunctioned, not up to me. The colleague asked a challenging question. Not up to me what they ask, but up to me how I respond. I prepared diligently, I spoke clearly, I handled the unexpected with grace. These were up to me, and that is where my worth lies. The liberation that comes from this shift in focus is profound. It's the realization that while the world might throw countless unpredictable challenges your way, your inner fortress, your judgments, your character, your responses remains inviolable. No one can force you to think a certain way, to judge yourself harshly, or to abandon your principles, unless you choose to let them. This doesn't mean becoming passive or indifferent to the world. It means acting with full effort and virtuous intention in the sphere of what you can control, and then accepting with equanimity whatever outcomes follow. It means pouring your energy into becoming the best version of yourself, virtuous, rational, resilient, and recognizing that your inherent worth comes from this internal pursuit, not from the fickle externals of life. When your self-esteem is built on this foundation, it truly becomes unshakable, because its source is entirely within your own domain, immune to the storms of external circumstances. The path to genuine peace and joy, a life lived virtuously. When you consciously and consistently apply the dichotomy of control, when you meticulously prune your inner dialogue and curate your external influences, a remarkable transformation begins to unfold. This transformation culminates in something the Stoics called ataraxia, or tranquility, a state of profound inner peace and freedom from disturbance. And from this deep peace, genuine joy naturally emerges. For the Stoics, peace and joy were not found in the fleeting pleasures of life, nor in the accumulation of external goods, but in the steadfast pursuit of virtue. Virtue, in Stoic thought, isn't about being morally perfect in some rigid sense. It's about living in accordance with reason, in harmony with nature, and aligning your actions with what is truly good. The four cardinal virtues, wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance, serve as guiding stars. Wisdom isn't just intelligence. It's practical wisdom, the ability to discern what is truly good, bad, or indifferent, and to act accordingly. It's knowing what to pursue and what to avoid, what's in your control and what isn't. Justice is about treating others fairly, honestly, and with compassion. It's recognizing our interconnectedness and our duties to the larger human community. Courage isn't the absence of fear, but the ability to act rightly in the face of fear, adversity, or discomfort. It's the courage to be vulnerable, to speak your truth, to pursue your goals despite potential failure. Temperance, or moderation, is about self-control, balance, and knowing when enough is enough. It's managing your desires and impulses, ensuring they don't lead you astray from your rational path. Imagine incorporating these virtues into your everyday life. When you face a difficult decision at work, you apply wisdom to analyze the situation rationally, considering all angles, rather than impulsively reacting out of fear or desire for gain. When you interact with a difficult person, you choose justice by extending empathy and understanding, seeking to communicate fairly, rather than retaliating with anger. When you're tempted to procrastinate on an important task, you summon courage to face the discomfort and take action. When you feel overwhelmed by societal pressure to consume or achieve more, you exercise temperance, recognizing the true value of contentment and moderation. Living virtuously isn't about dramatic, heroic acts. It's about the countless small, conscious choices you make throughout your day. It's the quiet satisfaction of knowing you acted with integrity, even when no one was watching. It's the calm assurance that you are doing your best, aligning your will with reason, regardless of the outcomes. This consistency, this dedication to living in accordance with your highest self, builds an inner harmony that is the bedrock of peace. And from this peace, joy flowers. Not the fleeting, ephemeral joy that comes from external pleasures, but a deep, abiding contentment that stems from within. It's the joy of purpose, of knowing you are living a life of meaning. It's the joy of self-respect, born from your commitment to virtue. It's the joy of resilience, knowing you can weather any storm because your inner core is strong and unshaken. This kind of joy isn't dependent on circumstances. It's a byproduct of a well-lived life. A life where your self-esteem is not just unbreakable, but truly magnificent, embodying the lessons, a purposeful path of self-discovery and resilience. What we've discussed is not merely theoretical philosophy to be contemplated in an ivory tower. This is a call to action, an invitation to embody these lessons, to weave them into the very fabric of your daily existence. This journey of self-discovery and resilience is not a destination you arrive at, but a purposeful path you commit to walking every single day. It begins with consistent practice. Like any skill, strengthening your inner self requires repetition and dedication. How does this look in modern life? Morning reflection. Start your day with a moment of quiet reflection. Not just planning your tasks, but mentally preparing for potential challenges. Marcus Aurelius practiced premeditatio malorum, premeditation of evils. This isn't morbid, it's protective. He'd consider, today I may meet with an officious man, an ungrateful man, a treacherous man. This prepares your mind, so when you encounter a difficult person or situation, you're not surprised or reactive, but ready to respond with reason and equanimity. This simple act builds emotional resilience day by day. Epictetus encouraged students to keep a spiritual diary. This isn't just a record of events, but a dialogue with yourself. At the end of the day, Review your actions and reactions. Where did I act virtuously? Where did I fall short? What was within my control and what wasn't? This practice sharpens your self-awareness, reinforces the Stoic principles, and allows you to learn and grow from every experience, transforming perceived failures into valuable lessons. Negative visualization. Spend a few moments imagining losing something you cherish, your job, your health, a loved one. This isn't about inviting bad luck. It's about cultivating gratitude for what you have and building mental resilience for potential loss. It reminds you of the impermanence of externals and strengthens your appreciation for the present moment. When you accept that externals can be taken away, you free yourself from the anxiety of clinging to them, deepening your appreciation for their temporary presence. Mindful response. Throughout your day, pause before reacting. When someone cuts you off in traffic, or a colleague makes a snide remark, instead of immediately responding with anger or defensiveness, take a breath. Ask yourself, is this within my control? What is the virtuous response here? What judgment am I making about this event? And is that judgment rational or helpful? This pause creates a space for reason to intervene, allowing you to choose your response rather than being driven by impulse. These aren't grand, time-consuming rituals. They are small, consistent habits that, over time, quietly transform your sense of worth. Each successful application of a Stoic principle, each moment you choose reason over emotion, each time you find peace in acceptance rather than frustration in resistance, you are adding another brick to the foundation of your unbreakable self-esteem. This is a lifelong endeavor. There will be setbacks, moments where you forget your principles, where the old habits of self-criticism or external craving reassert themselves. The Stoic path isn't about achieving perfection, but about consistent progress, about getting up each time you stumble, learning from the fall, and returning to the path with renewed determination. It is a testament to the human spirit's capacity for growth, for self-mastery, for forging strength from within, revolutionizing your relationship with yourself and the world. The ultimate outcome of embracing this Stoic wisdom is nothing less than a revolution in how you relate to yourself, and by extension, to the entire world. You move from being a reactive participant in life, constantly at the mercy of external events and opinions, to becoming a proactive architect of your inner experience. Your definition of success changes. It's no longer solely tied to outward achievements, wealth, or status, things that are largely outside your control. Instead, success becomes an internal measure. Have I acted virtuously? Have I applied reason? Have I done my best with what was within my power? Failure also transforms. It's not a reflection of your inherent worth, but merely an external outcome, an opportunity for learning, a chance to refine your approach. You learn to live with integrity, where your actions align with your deepest values, not with what others expect or demand. You cultivate authenticity, shedding the masks you once wore to gain approval. Because your self-worth no longer depends on them, you become more resilient in the face of adversity, not because life stops being challenging, but because your inner resources for meeting those challenges are robust and reliable. This isn't about becoming emotionless or indifferent to suffering. It's about developing the wisdom to understand what truly matters, the courage to act on your principles, the justice to treat others with respect, and the temperance to manage your own desires. This path frees you from the tyranny of external opinion and the shackles of self-criticism, allowing you to experience a profound sense of genuine peace and joy that is impervious to the chaos of the modern world. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." It's a deceptively simple statement, yet profoundly true. Your reality is shaped by your inner voice, by the judgments you make, by the narratives you tell yourself. By choosing to cultivate wisdom, by focusing on what is truly within your control, by nurturing an internal dialogue of respect and reason, you don't just build fleeting confidence. You forge an unbreakable self-esteem, a tranquil heart, and a life lived with profound purpose. So the question before you now is not merely what you believe, but how you will choose to live. Will you continue to seek your worth in the ephemeral applause of the world? Or will you embark on the purposeful path of building an unshakable self-esteem from the timeless wisdom within? The choice and the power is entirely yours. If this journey of self-discovery and resilience resonates with you, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel for more insights into living a more thoughtful and purposeful life. And I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. What aspect of building unbreakable self-esteem resonated most deeply with you today? And what small, consistent step will you take starting now? Your reflections not only enrich your own understanding, but also strengthen this growing community of individuals striving for inner excellence.